Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into something that affects so many of us, psychological health at work.
It's a huge challenge globally. You look at the numbers, maybe 15% of workers facing mental disorders.
Yeah, and some of those statistics are really stark, aren't they? Like Japan seeing nearly 3,000 work-related suicides last year.
Or almost half the workers in Australia and New Zealand dealing with work stress.
Yeah,
It's, well, it's clear something needs attention.
absolutely. It's not just personal struggles. It's like the WHO and ILO are sounding an alarm for organizations.
Exactly. And that brings us to the core idea we're exploring today, psychosocial safety climate, PSC for short.
PSC. Okay, what exactly is that?
Think of it as the shared feeling employees have about how much their company actually prioritizes their psychological well-being.
So not just policies on paper, but what people perceive.
Precisely. Is management committed? Do they communicate about risks? Do they involve people in safety? Is preventing stress a real priority? That's PSC.
Got it. And the big question, the reason for this deep dive, is whether this idea, this PSC, works the same way everywhere.
Right. Is it universal? Or does it change depending on the country or the culture?
So we're unpacking a major study that looked into this across 4 different countries.
Yep. Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia, and Japan. Over 5,500 employees involved. We're going to see what they found.
Okay, let's get into it.
So one of the long-standing issues in this field is that a lot of the theories came out of, high-income, mostly Western countries.
Which makes you wonder if they really apply everywhere else.
Exactly. So this study asked, is PSC etic, meaning it's universal, or is it emic, kind of specific to a place or context?
And finding something that's truly etic would be pretty important for, well, global standards.
Hugely important. It gives us a common ground, a reliable way to understand and act on this across different cultures.
So the crucial question, what did they find? Is PSC universal?
Well, the evidence was actually pretty strong. They found that PSC is largely an etic construct.
Meaning it applies across the board.
Pretty much. They used a specific tool, the PSC-12 scale, to measure it. And it worked consistently in Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia, and Japan.
So people in all these different places basically understand the concept of psychosocial safety in a similar way.
That's what the data suggests. It's like a common language for this aspect of workplace safety.
Okay, that's fascinating about the measurement. But does PSC do the same thing everywhere? Does it connect to other workplace factors in the same way?
Great question. And yes, the study looked at that too. They confirmed its theoretical network seems universal as well.
What does that mean, its theoretical network?
It means how PSC relates to other important things. They found higher PSC consistently links to more coworker support.
Right, that feeling of having your colleagues' backs.
Exactly. And then, in turn, more coworker support leads to higher work engagement.
Makes sense. Feeling supported helps you engage.
And it also leads to lower psychological distress. And this whole chain reaction held true across all the countries they studied.
Wow, so PSC seems to be this foundational thing that fosters support, which then boosts engagement and reduces distress. Universally.
That's the core finding, yes.
Okay.
But they also looked at something a bit more nuanced.
Okay. What was that?
They explored if PSC could change the relationship between coworker support and those outcomes. Like, does it amplify the effect?
Ah, like a moderator effect.
Precisely. And they found something interesting for psychological distress, particularly in Australia and Japan. PSC acted as a compensatory resource.
Compensatory, meaning it makes up for something else.
Kind of. Imagine you don't have great support from your immediate colleagues. If the overall organization has a high PSC, a strong commitment to safety, that high PSC can still significantly lower your distress.
So the organization's climate can buffer you, even if your team support isn't ideal.
Exactly. It acts like a safety net. Now, for work engagement, that buffering effect wasn't quite as consistent. They only saw it clearly in Australia.
Interesting. So maybe support is more critical for engagement, but PSC offers this broader protection against distress.
That seems to be what the data suggests, yeah. It highlights PSC's protective role.
So bringing this all together, what are the big takeaways for, people listening, maybe managers or employees?
Well, practically speaking, it really validates focusing on PSC as a key intervention target. Doesn't matter if you're in one country or managing across several.
Because it works similarly everywhere.
Right. Measuring PSC regularly can be a really powerful way to keep a finger on the pulse of workplace well-being. It's a leading indicator.
And what about, policymakers? Does this research speak to them?
Definitely. It strengthens the case for embedding PSC into national health and safety laws. It says, look, this is a fundamental aspect of a healthy workplace, universally applicable.
It makes the call for psychologically healthy workplaces feel less like a nice to have and more like a foundational requirement.
Absolutely. It's about building resilience and enabling people to thrive wherever they work.
It's quite powerful thinking about how that clear organizational commitment really empowers people and fosters that support network.
It really is. That top-down commitment seems to resonate across cultures.
So, this deep dive really underlines how universal this idea of psychosocial safety climate is and how vital it is for well-being and engagement globally. A solid foundation.
Indeed, it gives us a practical, evidence-based starting point for making work better.
And maybe it encourages you, listening, to pause and think about your own workplace. How strong is that psychosocial safety climate where you are? And, well, what effect might that be having on you? Something to mull over.